Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Screwloose Gamer, you're watching Screwloose Gaming, and sorry about not having any content for a while. I have been incredibly ill. Now, most people have now found out about this game. It slipped past me for over 2 years, I have no idea why, because it's brilliant. Anywho, some people are having trouble getting started. I'm no expert, but I think I can help you out here. This episode is solely about piloting. So we're going to go through the skills, and then I'm going to show you what I think's best for you to begin with and work up from there. So we'll go to our pilot. As you can see, he's looking rather snazzy, if I do say so myself. Right, now obviously you have the 3 piloting skills. This is my current setup, though I do believe I need to change this one. So basically, the Phoenix Claw. This, I'm not going to bother giving you the really fine details, but basically, if you use this, your speed increases, and your ability to turn the ship left or right greatly increases. Now this is fantastic for getting behind enemies or getting to their vulnerable spots. The only problem is, it will burn out your engines quite quickly, so this is where communication comes in. When you use it, yell burning engines, and the engineers will know to, well, keep fixing them engines while you're using it. Now, as a pilot, I tend to take a spanner with me just in case we lose a balloon and go down and not being attacked, help get the repair going. Here we have the spyglass, brilliant for spotting enemies and marking them on the map. And putting a symbol around them, easier to see, easier to attack. This one literally does, again, burns your engines and makes you go faster. But with that one, we don't really need it. Now, what I would recommend here is we've got the hydrogen canister. It affects. Let me just quickly read through. Yes, this lets the balloon rise faster. You've got a drogue chute. There's a difference between throwing a bit. Saying that you're not going to budge. Deploying this will make it happen. Effects last. Deactivation chute. Vertical drag minus 60. Thrust minus 50. Impact damage. I think it reduces impact damage, basically. This is 120 damage to all engines. 1000 angular drag, so it slows your dragging. Makes you go faster. And gives you longitudinal drag, so it is a speed buff basically. And remember, all of these have a debuff, which means usually damage to the engines or balloon. Now this is quite good. You dump it behind your enemies, and they then lose sight of you. Your scope then loses tracking of them. It's quite good. And it hasn't really, it's got damage to engines, but it doesn't really do any serious damage. The chute vent. Dodge Pyridium Ram or try skewering someone with a spy. Yeah, right. Effects last for 3 seconds after deactivation. 65 damage to all balloons plus 300%. Lets you go up faster, basically. But it will damage the engines, and I believe it has an effect on the balloon. Impact bumpers. This is the captain speaking. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Effects last for 5 seconds after deactivation. Minus 60% for us, and you take less impact damage. Now the rangefinder, set of binoculars used by artillerymen to scope the distance to their target, keeping the ship within line of sight, while scope will give the distance to the target for yourself. Any gunner on the ship will know if their guns are in range. Basically lets you know if your guns are in range, but you cannot spot with this tool. Now, I believe I am going to replace mine with, is this the... Make sure you have the helmets on. Effects off. The balloon minus vertical drag. 300% climb. That's the one I'm after. So this is my pilot setup. And you're not really going to use guns, but if you do, I recommend charged rounds. You get 300 damage, minus clip size, minus rate of fire, but it's alright for a captain. So we're going to save changes. Right, now we're going to move on to the ship. For beginners, I would recommend the Pyramidion. It is a fantastic beginning ship. Now, when you're playing novice rounds, you're not going to be able to change much of your guns, but preset B gives you a Gatling gun on the front and a mortar on the front. My advice is ignore the side guns, you don't need them. You want a gunner and an engineer up there. The gunner fires the Gatling gun until their armor goes red. That's when you blast them with mortars. It takes them down in seconds. But it has to be done well. Now we're going to have a quick fly of these ships, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But we're focusing on the Pyramidion as a starter ship. Those phase changes. Go to practice. Start Europe. Blah blah blah. And we're ready. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. It is a quick tip on how to do this all. And trust me, it will help a bunch. Okay, as you can see, we are on the Pyramidion, and we are as our pilot. Got a spyglass, left click and then right click when you see an enemy. But you can also ask your engineers to do that for you as well. Now, the two guns you'll be using, or your crew will be using, are up here. You'll want them using, that's a cannon. So that, where's the Gatling gun? Which one's the mortar? Double barrel mortar. I think I might have made a mistake, but no, that is right. Basically, you whittle down their armor with this. Eventually, their armor will come up red. It's easy to spot. Once it is, you will have your other engineer start firing mortars at them. It will destroy them so quickly. But you only want these front guns, which means you need to be able to pilot the ship well enough to get behind them. Now I'm going to give you an example here. I mean, there isn't really any ships. I will be doing the piloting video. But, right, R goes forward, and you can see the different rates of forward. F goes up. It is the slow ascent and the slow descent on the Pyramidion. But the idea with the Pyramidion is to always try to stay behind both ships. Now if you need to do a quick turn because they're coming at you, hold shift. You can see the stamina on the right there draining, and it will allow you to do a faster turn, but it only lasts a little while. Now, if you want to do a faster turn and forward engage, scroll so you're on the hand. See how much faster we're turning, but that is burning and damaging our engines back there. So you will need to shout to them, burn engines. Communication is key. Now this will let us go up faster, but also damage engines and possibly the balloon as well. And this is just a spyglass. Now you must remember when you're playing to unscroll from whatever you chose, or you will damage yourself before you even get to the enemy. Now, different ships have different weak points. So with the goldfish, I say going through the side or the front. No, the side. They've got a good front mounted gun. The Spire, you want to go in from the back. They're heavily fortified on the front. And the Galleon, the front. Always go for the front because of their back is got a gun and their sides are probably loaded out with washers, which will tear your ship apart. I mean, it's got a fairly decent hull, but it's not one of the best. But this is a good starter ship. Even a good ship to fight within the not novice matches, the advanced matches. It steers fairly well, so it's a good idea to get used to how this steers before faring other ships. And always learn where your ship, when playing, before you start, always learn about where everything is on your ship. It will really help out a lot. And communication is key. You hold X to speak to your own team, C to speak to the other captains, coordinate an attack. That's basically it to being a pilot. Using the right skills, communicating with your crew. If you notice the holes down, shout holes down. If you want them focused on the engine, tell them to focus on the engine. Right, that is it for the pilot tutorial. That is what you need to know and how to master it. And you'll pick up a lot of the stuff yourself. So thank you for watching. I've been Screwed Gainer. It's been brilliant having your lovely faces here. And until next time, Ta-ra!